Hello, how are you? Very good. How's my audio? Is it too low or is it hot and high enough? You tell me. Yeah. Okay. I'm using. I'm trying a different microphone tonight to see if that will help. What happens is I'm using these USB microphones and the audio is just not coming through the way that I want it to. So I'm having all kinds of problems with that, and it's probably going to. Yeah, and yeah, I've done that. Just I wanted a little bit better quality of audio, so we'll see. I'll keep playing with it. Thing is, I really only test this one. The problem that that's occurring only happens if you record for about an hour. So I only really record for about an hour once a week with these. Um, so anyway, working on it. I'll keep working on it for a while. Maybe get it solved. All right. So Daryl, let's start with you. What have you got this evening? Yeah. 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 Well, what program are we talking about? Is it different versions of Preview, which I doubt, or is it different versions of Adobe Acrobat? Oh, oh, okay. Uh, let's let's go to your applications. Yeah, let me jump over. Yeah, let's see if we have multiple versions of PDF Pen inside your applications folder, because that's where they should be pulling from, I would think. We can see it. All right, so open up your applications folder. Yeah, let's see how many versions of PDF Pen. Actually, open up a Finder window so we can see it a little differently. And now let's navigate to PDF. I'm sorry, navigate to the applications folder. Yeah, and let's see, just the one version there. Click on that one time, and that's version 5. Okay, do you have a PDF laying on your desktop? Let's do a right click and get info on a PDF file. And let's take a look at that exact problem. There's a key, well, there's one right to the very far left. It looks like My Key Commands PDF sitting on the desktop. And of course, if you're using two monitors, we can only see one of them, remember? There we go. Okay. Yeah, look at all those. And it's the same thing. Okay. Yeah. I would suggest try flashing the parameter RAM. So when you restart your computer, hold down Command Option PR. Yeah, that's the next thing to try. So if you Command Option PR, yes, PR stands for parameter RAM, and it's a piece of the RAM that holds things like this. So Command and Option PR, you can usually do it with one finger, I mean with one hand, like a thumb on the Command Option, and then pinky on the P and index finger on the R. That's usually how I do it. And then restart your computer. Restart that computer with that held down. Keep that held down until you've heard it chime 3 times. On the third chime, you can let it go. All right. Okay, and that sort of it's sort of a flushing of cache, but at the RAM level. So you do that, and let's see if that helps it. All right. OS9 back in the old days, OS9 and OS8 had a great way of handling this, where you could rebuild the desktop. And we don't have rebuilding the desktop anymore, but flashing the parameter RAM may help. So that's the next thing to try. What's your next question? Okay, we'll see in a bit. All right, David, let's move to yourself. What you got going on? Well, I think the process on both of those is what's called anodizing it. So it chemically bonds the paint to the metal through chemicals, whatever chemicals. There are basically electrons and being traded here, so that that paint adheres at a chemical level to it. But that doesn't mean that it's just going to stay. You can still scrape that layer off. If you, I think it's that the white is going to be less noticeable than the black. If you scratch something with a white surface, it's going to be, you know, less easy to tell. So well, it's kind of like this. If you have a room that's got white carpet and you have a room that's got black carpet, the problem inverses itself. If you spill a soda, you want to spill it on that black carpet so it can't be told. Um, but if you spill it on the white carpet, obviously it's really obvious. So the problem is kind of inverted on the phone, where if you make a scratch, you probably want the scratch to be on the white surface so that the scratch doesn't show as counter or as contradictory. You know what I mean? So, yeah. All right, let's jump over to Cheryl. Bob, I see that you just popped in with us, and we'll get to you in just a second. We're going to jump over to Cheryl now. Cheryl, what have you got this evening? All right. Okay. Yes, you can hook you can connect a keyboard to your iPad, and it's really easy to do. And that has nothing to do with the camera accessories that you're talking about. What you need is a Bluetooth keyboard. Uh, you get a Bluetooth keyboard, and Apple, of course, wants you to buy theirs, and they have these real small ones that are nice. Um, it's pretty compact, but that gives you the ability to connect your keyboard wirelessly. So here on my phone, I'll show you how you would do that. When you first buy the, let me see. Oh, hold on a second. Bob just sent me a message that says he has no sound. Let me try to help him real quick. Maybe this will help him. Uh, he's, you know, when you first time you've used this, it's kind of hard to figure out that whole thing there. All right, let's let him take a look at that for a second. Click to use mic and speakers. Okay, let's see if he'll get that. So if you take a look at my phone here, Cheryl, in your general settings, you have the ability to manage Bluetooth. Now it's under, let's see, where is it? It's in general, and I'm sure it's right in front of me and I just don't see it. Maybe it's Bluetooth is a tech. It's not in general. It's at the top level. Bluetooth is a technology that allows two devices to talk to each other, and it's usually pushing over some sort of audio. Like, for instance, if you see my camera here, here's my Bluetooth headset. And that's just a technology that they named it. Bluetooth gives you the ability to speak wirelessly to another device. Another use you could do is if you get in a car that has Bluetooth enabled, you could use that phone, and let's say use your Bluetooth phone, and you could send your music over to your stereo inside your car. So it's just a no. Yes, all iPads do. Give me a second. Let me try to help Bob again here. He's struggling with his audio. Under the audio section. Yes. Do you want it? 841-997-159. All right. Give me a second. It's all right. Try the headphones too if you have those nearby. If the sound, we had some really weird problems with Emma Day the other day. She was on her iPad and things were not going well with the audio. So let's see if he can. We're having some problems getting Bob in, and I know it's frustrating to him. But I don't know that I answered your question all the way, Cheryl. Oh, with Bluetooth. So you see where it says Bluetooth on my screen here? All right, you click that, and then that's going to take an inventory. It's going to look around wirelessly for all the devices in your house that are connected or that have Bluetooth enabled or are allowing themselves. And then what you'll do is select it, and it will pair up with your keyboard. It might ask you to put a little number in, and then they're married with each other. All right? Yeah, like on Bluetooth headsets like this, there's a little key combination that you hold. You might hold one button and the other button for 2 or 5 seconds, and then it starts saying, hey, I'm available, I'm available. Most Bluetooth headset codes, when you type them into your phone, most of them the code is 0000. But when you're connecting a keyboard, an actual Bluetooth keyboard, it may ask you for to push R39 shift, but it would tell you that. It would say that on the device. All right? The camera the camera accessories, like I said, has absolutely nothing to do with the keyboard functionality. The camera accessories really is just you've got 2 things. You can either connect a USB device or you can connect a SD card. Is really what the camera accessories do. So either let's give me just a second to respond to Bob here. I'm trying to juggle a lot here. Yeah. So David, were you going to say something? Yeah. 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 So what David just showed you there, Cheryl, was one of the camera accessories, and that gives you the ability to plug that up to the bottom of the iPad. And notice that flat connector there. That goes in the bottom of the iPad. That's the older 30-pin connector. Thanks, David. And then show her the back of that. And that's where you would stick the SD card. Hey, Bob, you got in. Excellent. All right, great. I'll be with you in just a second, and we're gonna get to your question next. We always want new people joining in, so I'll get with you in just a second. David is showing right now, or he showed it to us, Cheryl, that bottom of that card is where you would stick an SD card, like out of a camera or something. That's why you call it a camera card. But there's another device that comes in that package. Yeah, well, I would not do that myself. And the reason I wouldn't is because if you get that camera connector, basically that gives you a USB port. All right, great. You've got a USB port, but now you're going to have to carry around a keyboard that has a wire, and you're going to have to connect it with a wire, which uglies up your whole experience of being kind of wireless. If you have a little bag and you got your iPad and you've got your keyboard, or even an iPhone and a keyboard, some people do that. They can then pull that out, pull their keyboard out, and there's no wire connectivity. It just happens wirelessly. That's what I think you want to do. All right. All right, let's pause on Cheryl's questions. Let's jump over to Bob. Bob, thank you for joining us this evening. What have you got on your mind? Yeah. Hmm. Okay, well, I'm glad you made it in. So, excellent. I think you may have emailed me earlier this week. Is that correct? All right. Yeah, I'll get to that email tonight unless I can answer it for you right now. I think you were looking at scheduling a session in the future. I think you said you had worked with Dan Robinson. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm happy to help if I possibly can. Dan was an Apple consultant in the area for a long time. I've known Dan for a while. So do you have some questions you bring to the table tonight, Bob? Yeah. Yeah. Do Well, let me first ask you: have you been backing up? Have you used Time Machine as a backup? All right, that's not a all right. Well, that's not a good thing. So ultimately, we got to get this backup going, and you probably using an operating system at least 10.5 or later. I'm guessing. If if you go under the black apple and you choose a okay, so Bob, I'm gonna at the risk of and for everybody in the meeting tonight, we've Bob and I've never met, we've never worked together. He just got my name from somebody else lately. So I've at the risk of sounding a little on the rude side, we've got to get you caught up, Bob. And one of the big things that we've got to do is get you off of 10.5 and get you into a much more modern operating system in the grand scheme of things. Now, 10.5 does still have that Time Machine support. Time Machine was the software that Apple includes on all their computers that gives us the ability to back up to a hard drive. And if your hard drive is dying, we need a backup of that. So regardless of whether or not we can get these files that you're looking for, you still need to go out and get a hard drive, plug it up to your computer, and get that Time Machine backup going. With me so far? Yeah, 1 terabyte would be great. Now, yeah, the drive that you've got is probably a little bit smaller. If you're running 10.5, you're probably in the 250 gig range. But you know what? The 1 terabytes and the 2 terabytes now are around $100, even less. So I'd go get one of those. When you get that, you're going to go to your system preferences. And matter of fact, when you plug it up, if you've never used Time Machine, your computer will probably jump in and say, hey, do you want to use this as a backup? And you're going to just hit yes. But if it doesn't, you're going to go to your system preferences, go to the Time Machine button in system preferences, and then you will select a disk. You'll hit select disk, and it'll give you that one disk that you're using, and you hit it and say use disk. After you've done that, Bob, your computer will continue to back up for the rest of your computer's life. And this problem that you've got with this folder missing would not be a problem because we could go back in time and get it. All right? Yes, it backs it up every hour as long as you've got it plugged up. And Time Machine is a wonderful piece of software. I love it. All right? Now to get to your issue of there's this folder is missing. You said there's a folder. Was the folder on your desktop? The folder was maybe in the documents folder? All right. Okay. Well, what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to send a message over to you, and we're going to take a look at it real quick. The message is going to appear on your computer to give us the ability to look at your screen, and it's going to give me the ability to move some things around on your screen. So you're going to click to show my screen, and you're going to click to give control to me. And all the rest of us in the meeting, and there are about 6 or 7 people in the meeting, we're going to see your screen. All right? Yes, sir. Well, let's take a shot at this real quick. Let's just see what's going on. And if it looks like it's going to cost us too much time, then we'll move on. Ah, look at that. That's a G4. Bob, you got a G4, don't you? All right. All right. So you know what, Bob, with that 10.5, that's as far as you're going with that G4, I believe. So let's go to Macintosh HD. Now in other words, open up a Finder window. Your GoToMeeting control panel, Bob, is in the way of the hard drive on the desktop, so you could still just open up a Finder window by clicking the happy face in the dock. The happy face in the dock, that's the finder. So in your dock on the far left-hand side, you see the happy face smiling at you. It's been smiling at us all for about 30 years now. It's all the way on the left. It's almost like it's been there so long it becomes invisible. All the way on the left-hand side of your dock, on the very bottom, you'll see, yes, at the bottom of your screen, that's your finder window. All right, so click that, and we're going to open up, this is a finder window. And Bob, since you and I have not ever worked together, I don't really know what level you're at or any of that, so I'm going to kind of talk as basic as I can. Hopefully I get it right. All right, so Bob, you accidentally triggered these widgets. So let's click anywhere to get these widgets out of here. That's not what we want. Just click anywhere on the desktop. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so they're gone, and I'm probably about 5 seconds behind you. All right, let's go back to that happy face and click on that happy face again. Yes. Now clicking that should bring up there's our finder window. Now, what was the name of, do you know the name of that folder? Okay, that's all right. You have some papers that are in that folder, right? Some documents of some sort, yes? Okay, can you think of one of those documents and possibly a unique word that was in one of those documents? Like if you wrote a paper on... Yeah. Okay. So what we need is a unique word that would live in one of those documents in that folder, and we can possibly use Spotlight to find where it is. Yeah, didn't work. Okay. All right. Let's go to the Documents folder. And you may have already gone through all this, but we'll give it a shot. If you're just joining us, Bob's lost a folder on his computer, and he hasn't been using Time Machine, so I've already fussed at him about that, and we're going to try to locate that folder. So you don't see it in any of these. It may have been moved to a location that Spotlight doesn't search. But I have a very strong feeling, Bob, if you have not emptied the trash, that folder is still somewhere on your computer. It's very, very rare that folders just disappear. Do you think you've emptied the trash in the last couple of weeks? Okay. Well, there's still a chance. Let me ask you this: how on? Yeah, and it's obviously then not one of the things that you're looking for. Well, I'll say this, Bob. If it's not in some of the usual suspect places, we could do one of two things. We could either go digging around in all the dark secret areas of the computer that your search doesn't look at. See, Apple doesn't let you search your whole computer because they don't want you to see all these files that they write. If you searched for QuickTime, you'd see all these Apple files that they don't want you to see. So they hide some of those folders from us when we search. If we put a personal item in one of those folders, it frankly just disappears. So we could try that, or we could also try to recover. I have software that I can go and look at deleted items, but it didn't just vanish. I'm pretty sure of that. All right? But yeah. See, it's possible that maybe you were dragging it from one point to the other, but instead of that same folder structure, maybe you drug it inside, let's say, library, or maybe you drug it inside pictures or something like that. So, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this folder? If it's a if it's above a 6.5, I'd say in your mind, then maybe you want to schedule me to come out, and I could probably help you locate it. Yeah. Well, like I said, if it's important enough, I bet I could probably, if I was in front of it, this might take us more time than everybody else. You know, I'm going to try to move on here in a second, but I bet I could probably put my hands on it if I were in front of the computer. Yeah, so if you want, you can schedule a session, and you can do it right from the front of the website, my website there, the same one that you used to get to this meeting. All right. I'm going to keep moving on. If you want to hang out with us, please do. And I'm going to move on to the next person, and we'll make another round in a second. Irene, or how are you doing, Irene? All right, what you got this evening? Yes. So you had an icon on the bottom of your dock. You're talking about down, and at some point in time, something happened, Irene, to where now it's gone. Is that right? Okay. I'd like to jump over and look at your screen, and I bet we can solve this real easily. So Irene, you're going to see a message for us to take a look at your screen, and when you see that, you're going to click on Show My Screen, and we're all going to see your computer. So hide the secret files. Okay. Okay, Irene, so we see your dock now, and do you remember what program it was that disappeared? Was it your music program? iTunes is gone. Yep, it looks like it is gone. All right, so let's do this, Irene. The happy face on the dock, which is at the very bottom left-hand side over there, the happy face smile. Click on that once. My goodness. David, are you with me? Imade just popped in. Hello, Imade, how are you? And as soon as Imade showed up, that sound came back. So I'm going to mute Imade, and then we're going to get back to Imade. You guys, if you were with me last week, you know that sound, something just went crazy on my ears. But we tracked it down to Imade right after she got offline. So I'm going to mute Imade for a little bit. That's really rude, I know, but I'll apologize to her in a minute. That there's something emitting from her computer that's just the strangest clicking sound. Okay, Irene, now that we've got this this folder open here, we want to go to the folder called Applications. So if you look at the left-hand side, you'll see All My Files, AirDrop, Applications. Select Applications. So click on that. Now you will see a long row here, and in that row you'll see iTunes, which is almost at the very bottom of that window. Now what you're going to do, Irene, is you're going to click and drag and move it all the way back down to the dock. And once it gets all the way to the dock, those other pictures are going to move to the side, and then you can let it go. But don't let it go until you get to the dock. So try it. That's it, and let it go. All right. That's how you got it back. Okay? All right. I'm gonna fix one more thing that's driving me crazy here, Irene. You see you have your mail, which is the stamp, right? And you see that you have a 1, which means that you have one email that you're going to have to look at later, right? You see the icon that I'm talking about with the red 1 on it? Okay, that's your email, right? Now look to the left and you'll see the same icon, but it's got a question mark on it. You see that one? Yeah, we don't want that anymore. That's nothing but problems and headaches for us. That's an old version of this program that somehow or another something went wrong. So what I'd like you to do is move your mouse over to that question mark stamp, and you're going to click on it, and you're kind of going to do the backwards of what we just did. You're going to click and drag it up and up and up and almost to the top of your computer, and then let it go, and it should go into a cloud of smoke. All right? Or you could select options and say remove from dock. All right, let's try it again, Irene. You went a little bit too slow, so let's try it again. And when you click, start moving a little bit faster. Click and pull, pull. There you go. And let it go, and it should poof away. That's it. You got it. Now you got a nice clean dock again. All right? All right, excellent, Irene. We're going to move on to Let's see, Emma Day. I'm going to try to jump in here and unmute Emma Day. Emma Day, can you hear us? Okay. Okay, now when you said duplicate messages and then you jump to calendar, I want to focus on one or the other. So are you talking about? Okay. Okay. Possibly this could be the answer. If you look on my phone, on my screen, and I'm going to enlarge this so we can hopefully see that a little bit better. On my screen, we're going to go to settings, and I'm going to scroll down in settings to messages. Now I'm going to select that messages here, and if I go down here, I'll see that I see send and receive. And if I click that, this shows all of the ways that I can receive an email. Oh, I'm sorry, not an email, a text message. I can receive it if somebody sends it to my phone, like maybe somebody that's got a Droid, and I can see it if somebody sends it as an iMessage, which is that program that we use on Apple's software on Lion or Mountain Lion. There's the messages program down there in my dock. And one thing that I've noticed that maybe is being encountered is if a member of my family opens up messages while I'm gone, maybe I'm on the road, maybe I'm in downtown Charlotte. If a member of my family opens up messages and sends a message to me using my own Apple ID, then I get two of the same message on my phone. So I don't think that's what's going on with you, but that's one explanation. Okay. No, your calendar and your messages don't have anything to do with each other. Now, let me go back and kind of redefine what I think you're talking about when you say messages. When you say messages, I think you're talking about text messages, but maybe I'm wrong. Are you getting duplicate voicemails? So what you're telling me is in your phone area, you've got voicemails, and you've got duplicates of each one of those in your voicemail. Is that what you're saying? Really? I have not heard of that. No. Your voicemail, I was going to say your voicemail exclusively works with your phone number. So I cannot send you and leave you a voicemail through messaging. I cannot text over a voicemail to you. I can only call your phone number and say, hey, Emma Day, how are you? I'll talk to you later. That then gets saved in what's called your visual voicemail on your phone. But are you saying to me that when you go and look at your phone area, which is the icon down here, you click on that phone area and then you go to all these messages here and you have two of each one of those? Four of each one of them. That is confusing because your iPad doesn't have a phone number, but then that takes us back to our discussion that we had with messages, back to the actual messages area, where I could take my iPad and I could set up, if I already have iMessage, see the very top up there, iMessage set up, and I have assigned my iCloud ID to my phone number. But I think where we're breaking down here Imade, is my terminology and your terminology. I think we might be talking about different things. With phone calls. Voicemail. But let me ask you a question, and this is sort of a trick question here. Are those voicemail messages also on your iPad? Well, I'm gonna reveal the trick here that I'm trying to get here, Imade. If those voicemail messages are on your iPad, then we're absolutely talking about the different things, because those voicemail messages will not be on your iPad, because your iPad is not a phone. So if you see this duplicate on your iPad, then we're still off a little bit. So I'm going to pause on that for a second, and I'm going to move back over. It looks like I maybe have hit everybody once, so I'm going to kind of start back up the top here. Daryl, thanks for being so patient. Give me the... Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. The audio is a little, what's the word, non-trebly. You know, there's not a lot of high end in the audio, but it's good. It sounds good. Sounds like you booted into recovery mode. Command Option PR, and you restarted and it chimed several times. Is that right? You want to hear that chime about 3 times. So you're gonna do it again, but this time hold that Command Option PR down, and you're gonna hear it chime, and then it'll shut off, and then it'll chime, and then it'll shut off, and then it'll chime, and then you can let go. Yeah, listen for 3 chimes, because if you hold that Command Option PR down the whole time, the computer will do something, and then it will shut down, and then it'll restart, and then it'll go, oh, wait a minute, he's holding down Command Option PR, I'll shut down again. We do that 3 times. After the 3rd one, let go. If it still kicks you back into the recovery disk, then in case we get disconnected, the easy thing to do if you boot into that recovery mode is either select Startup Disk and choose your internal operating system. There's a little Startup Disk selection there that you might even see right now up at the top under one of the menu items. Or you could turn the computer off, hold down the Option key, and it will give you both of your partitions. One of the secret little things that Apple did as of 10.7, and you have found it here, and you might already know this, but other people might not, is that Apple, when we installed Lion and we install Mountain Lion, Apple takes a little piece of your hard drive and it makes it its own little hard drive, and it calls it a recovery partition. It's a way that people can boot to their machines if they're having a big problem on their hard drive. They can boot into this little saving area. So you booted into that. I don't know how you got into that, but one of the ways you can get into it is by booting and holding down the Option key. But do that, Daryl. We're going to be right here with you when you're ready. All right, David. Still got us? You still with us, David? Yes. No. Bluetooth is a very adaptive technology, and remember, David, when I talk to a lot of people, I want to talk to the lowest common denominator here. So yeah, you can actually share files with Bluetooth. You can move data back and forth with Bluetooth. The latest version of Bluetooth, when Bluetooth first came out, it was like version 1, and then Bluetooth 2.0, and version 3, 3.0. And each time they update the technology or they upgrade the Bluetooth standard, the bandwidth gets larger. So there are Bluetooth printers. You can print with wireless Bluetooth printers. I don't normally do that. I kind of consider Bluetooth just real basic keyboards, mice, and then you're just your headset. But go ahead. Is it a Bluetooth ball of some sort? Well, so why do you think it wouldn't be working? Oh no, no, not at all. No, not no. Um, yeah, one of the things that I have learned, David, and you will learn as you progress in this, because I think you're going to do some similar things, and you're going to work with people and help them, is that, and I work on this all the time. If you give people too much information when you answer their question, and I'm very guilty of this, it ends up confusing them more. So if somebody says, "Can I connect a Bluetooth keyboard to my iPad?" Yes, you can. Or if they say, "What is Bluetooth?" The generic basic definition will usually work the best. All right. All right. All right. All right. We'll see you in a bit. All right. Irene, you're still with us. Did you have another issue going on? Did you want to hit another question? Okay. All right. Cheryl, I know. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do that. It's all David's fault. He's a real geek, and he's just asking all these technical questions. So, so Cheryl, did you have something else that you wanted to try to hit? Okay, so you're talking about on your computer and not on an iOS device? An iPad or an iPhone. Are you talking about translating on that? On your computer? Okay, Google Translate, baby. Google Translate. So if you do a search for Google Translate, you get to their website, translate.google.com. And there's lots of things. Hello, my name is... Oh, okay. All right. So it's not just individual text that you're trying to translate. You want to translate the entire site. I think Google will do this. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think that Google will translate the whole site. Let's see, entire site. Google is so smart. What did we ever do without Google? It's unbelievable. I mean, I can't even drive in town now without looking at a map. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Back in the old days, we used to read newspapers, David. We had these things that people printed out, and they sent it to us. They put it on our front door, and we'd open it that day, and we got to read what happened the day before. They, yeah. Bob, I have a saying that nobody under 30 buys a newspaper anymore. I was in a meeting. I was in a session recently. I was doing this. I'll hopefully get back to your question in a second. This is just a funny thing. I may have told this already, but I was in a little seminar one day a couple of months ago at a Rotary Club down in Shelby, and I was talking to the Rotary Club about using their technology and things, and I made that comment. I said nobody gets a newspaper anymore, and I started kind of going off on the newspaper and how it's so antiquated and nobody, why would you buy a piece of paper that that tells you what happened the day before and that kind of thing. And I could tell the room got extremely uncomfortable very quickly. And I could feel that there was something wrong in the room. And most of the people in the room were older. And I said, is there anybody in this room that disagrees with me? And everybody looked at the same time to one person. And that one person raised his hand. And I said, you disagree with me that the paper's not obsolete? And he said, I own the local newspaper. And I thought, well, I just kind of stuck my foot in my mouth. Yeah, I did. Okay, let's see. It's funny that we'd have to go to Yahoo to get the answer on how to do this. Let's see. Oh, that's okay. We'll get it taken care of. We won't leave until we do. It looks like here, Cheryl, it looks like there's a plug-in here. there's a Google plugin. I'm going to throw this link into the messages down here on the side. I don't know if you'll see that on the GoToMeeting control panel. I just sent a link over, so if you were interested in that, you can click on it. But it looks like there is a plugin that can install on your browser, and that plugin will then place a button that will give you the ability to automatically translate it. All right, we'll see you. I think that's the best, but I think that's what's going to do it. Daryl, where are you at? On what screen? Okay. All right, well, shut your computer down. Just go ahead and shut it down. Okay, hold down the Option key. Now turn your computer on, holding down the Option key. Holding down the Option key. We'll give it a second. Do you have external hard drives connected? Okay, turn your computer off, disconnect those external hard drives so that you only have the one hard drive that's the internal drive connected. All right, while he's doing that, I wanted to open it up. Emma Day, are you still with us? Did you have another question? All right, Bob, are you still with us? Did you have another question? All right, sometimes I go a little bit too fast and can fly over something. So please jump in and yell to me. Cheryl, there was also Babelfish at yahoo.com that might also do a pretty good job of translating. Did you look at that? Tried that and that wasn't it? I bet there's that Google plugin, Translate. Well, you might have already had that plugin installed. Let's see. I'm gonna try to log in here. Okay, you've got Recovery Partition and you've got probably Macintosh HD. Yeah, select Macintosh HD. All right, here's another little translator tool. I'm gonna pull that and drop that in as well into the notes there at the bottom. Yeah, so you have the ability to add that to your site to be translated. Well, it looks like there's the Google Translator for Firefox right here, so you could use Firefox. Maybe that would do a better job. Yeah, let's try that. I'll drop this in there as well. Yes, David, take it. Yes. Yeah, Cheryl, do you know what? Yeah, so maybe check out Chrome. If you go to google.com/Chrome, it's good to have many tools in your toolbox. It's good to have a set of standards and a set of metrics. Okay, it's like a little beach ball-y looking thing. No, they won't conflict. I'm not as much of a fan of Firefox anymore. I really don't use it. But Chrome is good. Chrome's very good. So, yeah, that's a good suggestion, David. Thank you. Try Chrome, and that might automatically translate. Yeah. And to be honest, a service like that translation, Google doesn't want to just easily give that service away to another browser. The more they can drive your searching to their browser, the more money they make exclusively for themselves. Because believe it or not, browsers make money through search. All right, well, Daryl, let's check back in with you. How's that? Did it boot back up to the desktop? Some of them did. Okay, let's see. Have you Googled this? Have you checked out? Have you done any searching on that? Let's see. Let's see if we can find something. It's not an issue that I have run into. I don't know that I'm writing the right terminology there. Let's see. We're looking for. I'm trying to come up with a certain set of words that could help us find if somebody's run into that problem. Maybe multiple instances, application version. I'm sorry, this is not very exciting. Application version, get info. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to bore us all to death with trying to look for the answer to this. I think you got me stumped right now, Daryl. Sorry, somebody said something? All right, well, I'll open it up to, because Daryl's got me stumped on that right now. I'll open it up. Does anybody else have anything else to follow up with this evening? Are we? Very right. Yeah, that's true. Yep, I see the resemblance. Yeah, good call. Yeah, well, there are lots of them. Yeah, and I like Pages, but you're not fond of Pages. Is that what's going on with? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can. As a matter of fact, that's one of the big benefits of iCloud now. It works really well. If I go and I open up Pages on my computer here, are you at 10.6? Okay. Black Apple, top left-hand corner, select About This Mac. But if you're using one of Apple's 10. Okay, so iCloud did not exist yet in 10.6. If you were up to date with that operating system, one of the new features that you get is when you open up a Pages document, it says, well, where do you want to store this? Do you want to store this locally on your Mac, or do you want to store it in iCloud? Now, these documents are very small, so Apple basically gives you that storage for free. It's not that big a deal. But if you say I want to store it on iCloud, then when you go to your device, like an iPad, if you have Pages on it, then you can find that Pages document a little bit later and open it right from there. So let's see if I don't know if I've got Pages on this device. I do. So let's see. You might already, well, you have to buy it twice. You have to buy it for the computer, that's $14.99. You have to buy it on the iOS device like an iPad or an iPhone. That's, yes, it is. You might already have it. Is it iWork 09? And I can also look at your computer and look at Pages and tell which version it is too. But the real nice ultimate... Okay, so you have the software for your computer, and you're using Pages. That's great. But what you don't have right now is the version for your iPad. Your iPad has a version of Pages as well. And the ultimate goal here, Cheryl, and this is a little bit down the road, you have to get out of 10.6 to do this. But once you're in 10.7 or 10.8, then you can go to your iOS device, and you can open up Pages, and you can see I've opened up Pages and I've got some documents here already. And the way that those documents got there on this device is that I actually wrote them on my Mac. So I'm going to say New Document right now, and I'm in Pages. And it's going to ask me, well, where do I want to save this? So I say New Document, and my computer's slow because I got a little bit too much open now. Let me see if I can throw something together. And once I save this document, what should happen, hello, I'm going to save this, file, save. It's going to ask me, where do I want to save this? And I'm going to say, well, I want to save it to iCloud, not to my computer. So if I choose iCloud, and I'm going to call this Town Hall. I hit save on that. Now, a version of that document that I just worked on went up to the cloud, and it's sitting at Apple servers. It's on its way over to Maiden, North Carolina right now. And just as I did that, I'm going to go back over here to my phone, and I'm going to get out of Pages here and give it a second. I see Pages, and I'm going to open up Pages, and look what's coming in. There's that document, Town Hall. So I could touch that document, and I'm going to say, yeah, sure, open it. And that document opens, and it's on my device. Now, this could just as easily be an iPad, but that's free, by the way. That's part of iCloud. And there's that document. All right? Yeah, now here's what's super cool. I think this will work. Notice that on the left-hand side, I'm going to really test this out here. Notice on the left-hand side, I have the document opened on my computer. And over here on the right-hand side, I have the document opened on my phone, or my iPad, either one. And you see, right now, they both say hello. So I'm going to type on my phone. I'm going to say, my name is Scotty. And I'm going to save that. I'm done. Now, what should happen is that edited change should fall over here and land in iCloud. Now, if it doesn't do it automatically, I might close it and reopen it again. Let me see if, because it should save it automatically. Yeah, does that do it? I'm going to close it here. I'll close and reopen. It's not, Pages, let's try it again. And I'm going to choose to open that Town Hall version here. And it's asking me, well, which version? Because you've got two versions. And I'm going to say, well, I want the one on the phone. Because I guess I didn't close out and save it. And that should pull up. Maybe it's because I hadn't saved it. Yeah, I figured. Only a few. And there's that change came in. Pages, Keynote, Numbers. Microsoft Office will not do this. Other programs, only Pages, Keynote, and Numbers will work in iCloud currently. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a really good question that you just asked, and that's an important question for everybody listening tonight. Should I go out and buy the CD of the software, or should I go to the App Store and buy it at the App Store? And at this point, I say buy it from the App Store. Now, the developer, the person or the company that wrote the software, would really prefer that you buy it from them directly, because then they save 30%. Apple takes 30% when they sell it through the App Store. So they make a lot more money when you buy directly from them, but there is a gigantic, huge advantage when you buy it from the App Store. The developer doesn't make as much money, but it doesn't cost you any more or any less. But the huge advantage is that if you buy it from the App Store, when you move to a new computer, that record of you having purchased it is already there, which means you go into the App Store. Let's say you get a new computer. You sit down at purchases. You don't have to keep up with those discs and the numbers. There's no more serial numbers. None of that. It's all gone. You just go to purchases and you say, well, what have I purchased in the past? And you click on purchases, and then it gives you a list of all the things that you've bought. So if you want to re-download that on this computer, you just hit download and it downloads it. It says, yeah, you bought it. You can have it again. So you can install all these things on up to 5 computers. That's a really big advantage. So I say buy it. Go ahead. Well, another good question, and this is one of those places that people get really confused, and I'll try my best to answer that as effectively as I can. What you have just asked is, or the answer to what you've just asked is, Cheryl, there are 2 stores that Apple runs. Apple runs a store in iTunes called the iTunes Store. And inside that iTunes Store, there are apps, A-P-P. And I wish that Apple would make this distinction. Those apps are things that run on your device, all right? Things that run on your iPad, things that run on your phone. And there's the App Store. That right there, that little icon that I'm looking at, is the equivalent of the store inside iTunes. If I went into the App Store, absolutely not. Yep, no more. No such thing. You cannot buy an app for your iPhone on a piece of material. This is all download stuff. So the store in iTunes has apps. An app, that three-letter word, is a program that runs on an iOS device, and you can either get it from your phone through the App Store, or you can get it through iTunes in the App Store. But the thing that I was just talking about, I'm going to move this out of the way, was the computer's App Store. The computer's App Store, I hate that they call it the word app. I say, let's call them applications. Acorn is an application. Acorn costs $20, $30, $50. There are not many apps. Yeah, even more. There are not many apps on your phone that cost that much. Most of these are little $2, $5 apps, real small ones. But an application like Photoshop, or an application like Final Cut Pro, or one of these real expensive programs that professionals use, those are applications. And you cannot run a big application on an iOS device. You can run a big application on your computer. So let's say apps are for phones and iPads. Applications are for computers. Applications are downloaded via the App Store on your computer. I hate that they say that. And apps are downloaded from within iTunes on your computer or from within the App Store on your phone. How did I do explaining that? Yeah, it's the problem that Apple has here is that they're calling everything apps. And us as new users, if you were born yesterday, when you hear the word app, you think, oh, these little buttons on my phone, an app. I can run these apps because we hear that word all the time. There's an app for that. App. But then you think that those apps can run on your computer. You cannot run those little bitty apps on your computer. You run applications on your computer, and those applications are available in your dock in that little blue circle that has an A in it. That's the app. You're talking about Acorn. Acorn is a piece of software. For the people listening, Acorn is a piece of software kind of like Photoshop that you go and you make changes to pictures. And it's a pretty expensive program. That is an application that runs on your Mac. So that application that runs on your Mac, you get it through the Mac App Store. That's the blue circle with the A in it. Absolutely. Right. Right. So it would be a good point. So there it is right there. It's $50. There's the Acorn program that she's talking about. That costs $50. It's got a lot of really good reviews. Yeah, they go up and down sometimes. Yeah. So that this program will not run on this device. Now, they may have a version that runs on an iPad, maybe a small little version, but it doesn't cost $50. Their iPad version may be $10. And this is a great place to point out what we were talking about earlier, Pages. And remember when I said you have to buy it twice? If you're using Pages and you want to use it on your iPad and you want to use it on your computer, then you have to buy it 2 times. You buy it in the app. Go ahead. Right. Yeah. That's right. But there are 2 versions of the software. Now, you already have one of the versions. You already have the computer version. Yeah, you don't have to buy it. You bought it 3 years ago, and Apple hasn't actually really updated it too much. You have the latest version of those iWork. You have the latest version of Pages. Yeah, well, they hadn't really made a big update. But that's true. And you can now buy those a la carte. When you bought iWork, you bought them as a suite. You bought Pages, Keynote, Numbers, whether you wanted them or not, in iWork. iWork is gone. They don't even call it iWork anymore. Now you can buy Pages by itself, and there's Pages for $19 here. But the Pages app on your phone, let's see if I can find it real quick. Daryl, is everything? Are you at least back up and running now? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That could do it. Yeah. Yeah. Open up Activity Monitor. So I'm going to search for Pages here on my device, on my phone, and we'll compare the two. We're going to go to shop. So this do a Spotlight search for Activity, and you should find it there. So Cheryl, here is Pages on my phone. That is $9. That costs $9. Pages on my Mac cost $19. But you already have the Mac version because you had the CD from before. But that's right. And you have to get to iCloud. You have to get to 10.8 so that those things will move back and forth. All right, sometimes I over-explain things. Maybe I just did there. If you want to use Pages on your iOS device, you have to buy that version for that. And here's another little dirty. That's exactly what I was getting ready to talk about. There is a difference between the iPad and the iPhone version even. Some of the software you buy one version and you have to buy the other version. I can't think of one off the top, but I'm sure that there are apps I should say. There are apps out there that will only run on the iPad but won't run on the iPhone. And if you want to run it on the iPhone, you have to buy the iPhone version for an extra $5. What they should do is make a universal, well, what we wish they would do as consumers is any people that write this software, they make one version that runs on all the devices. That's got to happen because now we have three. We got the iPhone, the iPad mini, the iPad, and really the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S. They're different sizes. So these developers have to write their applications, or I should say apps, and they have to resize them. So that takes a lot of work for them to resize everything, and that's why they're charging money for different sizes, basically. All right. Daryl, let's pop. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Imade. Go ahead. If it's not a universal app, I think it is. I think you only have to buy the one version on the iPad and you get the iPhone version. I'm pretty sure that's the case in Pages. I don't think Apple makes you do that. All right. Let's see. Launch services. Let's organize by process name. Do we see it in there anywhere? Launch agent. Give me a second, Daryl. I'm going to see if I can find where that is. I don't know where it is off the top of my head. Let's see. Imade, there is a sound that's coming from your user that's like a typewriter sound. It goes chickadee 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 chut. I don't know what that is, but you know that was driving me crazy last week, and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was you. And then as soon as you signed out, it was you. It was definitely you. Yeah. So I can kind of concentrate and really think about this for a second, I'm going to mute you for a moment, so I'll bring you right back in. Give me a second here. for those of you who are still with us here. I know this is boring. It's not in the activity monitor, Daryl. I'm going to see if I can find an easier way than you have to go into terminal to do it. There might be one of the third-party programs that will do this for us that will be a little bit cleaner interface. Okay. Onyx will do it. Do you know Onyx, Daryl? Let's see if I have it. Onyx. Yes. No. Onyx is a GUI interface for terminal commands, basically. So repairing permissions, things like that. Yeah, and go ahead. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Cocktail? Have you ever heard of Cocktail? Cocktail. Okay, Onyx is like Cocktail. It's a third-party application that gives you the ability to empty the trash, securely empty the trash, run these things as little programs that run in the background. Oh God, I don't have a copy of Onyx running here. Yeah, and I was avoiding having you do that. That's a terminal command. I don't know how comfortable you feel in terminal. I would rather you download Onyx and check that out first, because that's going to be a nice, pretty little interface to get this done. And it saves you the hassle of typing it wrong or getting the ONYX, Onyx for Mac. And you'll see that. I'll drop a link here. There, David, there's a link. Well, I thought I would have it. And I'll put it in the notes down here so you can see that through Mac Update. Yeah, it's a fun little thing. I don't recommend it to people very often, and you can see the problem that Daryl's having is a very specific and geeky problem. It's trying to modify the results of applications that are eligible to open a piece of data. That's a little bit beyond us here for our town hall tonight. So I think Onyx will take care of it for you. Once you download Onyx, you have the ability. It's just a control panel, and it says, hey, how much cleaning do you want to do? And I think that launch services resets probably one of the checkboxes in there, and it runs. All right, so try that out and see how that goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I think I'm going to shut it down for this evening. Thank you for your attendance. Hopefully this audio worked out a little bit better. Anybody have any final things before we go? What chip are we talking about? Oh, okay. Well, you know what? The easiest thing for you would be just to schedule a session. That is probably going to require me to pick it up and take it with me and bring it back, because I have to dismantle it, and then I have to get into the CD drive and dismantle that. So you might want to schedule just a pickup session. Make a note in the notes area that it's a session to pick up, and then I'll pick it up. Yeah, no, don't email me. Just schedule it through the website. Just schedule to get me out there. I get so much email now, I can't answer it all. So, but the people that schedule me and the people that are here on Town Hall like this, those are the people that I talk to, and the people that just schedule me. So just schedule me to get out there, and I will come and pick it up for you. All right. I can get it done in one night and get it turned around. So what you might want to do is schedule 2 sessions. Schedule one for a Monday and another one for a Tuesday. That will force me in my schedule to be able to get back to you. All right? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to have me pick it up and then say, just return it when you can. No, when I leave with somebody's computer, I want to get it back to them as fast as possible because I got a lot of computers here. All right. Yes, take it. Oh yeah, yeah. I've got here. I've got lots and lots of tools all over the place. I've been doing it for a while. I've got tools falling out of my ears here. I got tools everywhere. So, yep. All right. You like it? Okay. Yeah, we didn't talk about it much tonight. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here, Cheryl. I will. Thanks for sending that email. I'll forward that email over, Cheryl, to Joan on your behalf. I appreciate that. All right, we'll see ya. Bye.